Hey guys, this is my review on my cheap Chinese smart bidet heated magical toilet that I bought off Amazon. I saw a lot of videos about like there's a specific brand like Horow or something that people review, but I haven't seen anybody like review just these generic Chinese toilets that you would buy on Amazon or Alibaba or whatever. I'll link the one down below that I bought, this one, in the description. It'll be an affiliate link, so if you do click it, I do get a commission, but you can also just Google a smart toilet and buy whichever one. They're probably all going to be around the same idea of what this one is. So I got to film my plumber installing it. So what I'm going to do is run you a brief overview of the toilet. And then I'm going to show you some clips of my plumber installing it and what he thought about it. And then I'll give you some kind of final thoughts and tips about buying one of these toilets. So they're going to come with a remote generally. There's going to be a lot of different buttons on the remote. This one, when you first walk in, it auto senses you coming into the room. So it's going to be like this normally, just like this. And then when I walk into the room, you'll see from this B-roll clip that it just opens up when I'm about 3 to 4 feet from it, which is cool. But also in this bathroom, this is like a half bath. So if I'm coming to wash my hands, the toilet opens up because it thinks I'm ready to give it some treats, you know. Now on the back of this one, there's a rear display. So the air temperature for cooling you off or for drying you off is the one on the far right. The seat temperature is the one in the middle, and then the water temperature is the one on the left. And that way, like at a glance, you can get like an analog. You can see like actual numbers represented to what these settings you have everything set at, which is nice. It also has, mine has that button for the first, and then you have this second button for the second lid right there, right? And it has small flush and full flush. And the cool thing about this flushing mechanism is that the flushing mechanism is down there, right there. So when you're flushing this toilet, and guys, I clean the toilet, but you know, if you see something, don't say anything about it, okay? So here's a small flush. I'll kind of show you. See the water kind of circulates around the top there. Then it goes down, and then it refills an allotted amount. And then that's where the water stays, right there. A full flush is that. Fills up all the way, and then boom, all the way down. And then it's going to fill up a little bit, a predetermined amount of water in there. Just like that. So the full flush is just a bigger flush, depending on how many treats you give your toilet. One thing I haven't figured out is if I want to just come in here and do number one, how to make both seats go up at the same time. Because whenever I come in, it's only that first seat that goes up. So it's like, boom. So this is the perfect girl toilet for sure. To make the second one go up, you have options. You can hit this button, or I think you can, there's this sensor here it's just this little sensor right down here. And if I touch it again, that's going to go up. So yeah, that's generally what I use when I'm coming in here at night. I have to remember to give it the old kick with my foot. And then sometimes it doesn't register fabric as well as like skin for some reason. So that's a pro and a con. Now I'm not like new to bidets, but I'm new to like nice bidets like this. I have upstairs, I have one of those basic bidets from Tushy, I think is what it's called, is Tushy. And I have a Tushy bidet that's just like a simple one that just ties into your water supply and it just sprays cold water. This is a whole different scenario, a whole different ball game. For one, this seat is heated, right? So when you walk in here, the seat is heated. You sit down, it's a warm seat. When you spray your butt, after number two, it is warm, or whatever temperature you want to set it to. Now, a question I had that I figured out just recently is how the seat gets so hot immediately. Like it's warm immediately as soon as you sit down right on it. And that's because it always stays on. And you can see from this video I have with this thermal camera that the seat is always on. It's just always maintaining heat, which is cool, but also I wonder how energy efficient it is. I don't know. I haven't noticed a crazy electric bill or anything. I almost forgot to mention outlet. You have to have an outlet nearby as well. But also you could just run like an extension cord and a wire hider, and from anywhere in your, like if my outlet would have been over there, I could have run an extension cord like down and like put it in those little wire hider things to make it look fancy. It'd have been fine. It has the blue light. It has the blue light in there that you can turn on and off for like at night, like a night light. I'm hitting the button. That's off. That's on. I like the blue light. It looks cool. It also feels like a sterilization light, although it's probably not. It feels like sterile, and so it's like a mind trick maybe. I like that a lot. This one I got the option of like the starry back or whatever, but a lot of them had like solid lights back here, and those are all the same. It's just the different little fascia, plastic fascia they put on here. You could probably just peel this off and it'd be a solid white light. But mine has the stars on the back. This also won't let me spray. If I hit this button, the rear cleaning, which normally sprays, it won't let me spray unless it senses that I'm on the toilet. I've noticed that. I tried to like make a funny video with it and it wouldn't let me. But it has two spray modes. It has the spray that's like a jet, and then it has like a massaging one that's like, and it feels good, okay? It feels good. Sue me. Front cleaning, I think it just kind of moves the nozzle a little bit. It lets you adjust the nozzle. It's left and right on here, but it's up and down, I believe. And then water pressure for the nozzle right there is adjustable as well. Overall, it covers really anything you want. You're going to use the stop button more than you think. Whenever you're doing like the drying or the cleaning, you just hit stop and then start the drying process. So I just keep my remote in the handy little holder they include right up there by the toilet on the wall. Now let's get into my plumber installing it and talking about it as well.
Everything that you need to get to with this toilet for mounting it to the flange as well as accessing the water is underneath and in the back here, but thankfully this entire top lifts out. So we're just gonna lift this out, disconnect it, then we're gonna set it down on our flange, hook up our water, and we'll move on from there. Checking these connections out of the box, they are pretty loose, so I would make sure that you tighten all of these up. They are O-ring connections, so these threads need to go very tightly onto these ones so that you can get a good connection just by smashing that rubber ring in. Just to reiterate, it looks like every single connection from the factory here is loose. There's another one way back down in there, but if you take your hand back in there, you can reach it. I would make sure that all those connections are tight. So this is the new valve you need to put in behind the toilet. You're gonna have to put this one in because this is a different connection than the one that's gonna be on your wall. It comes with a built-in strainer here, which I guess is just to keep all the components inside the toilet clean. But this could be a problem because if you ever get too much gunk in here, it will cut the pressure, probably stop the toilet from working. So give or take, we're just gonna have to see how this works out. This toilet did come with its own wax ring and bolts, but I've never seen a wax ring like this, and this is a foreign product, so just to be sure, we went ahead and picked up our own wax ring, we picked up our own bolts, because we just want to work with what we know will work. It's a bit tricky fitting this in just because it's a skirted toilet. I've got a flashlight underneath the toilet shining down so I can see my bolts and get them lined up properly. So this toilet is designed with an open back so that theoretically that water line would go in on the back side. But with the way that this water line was roughed in, we had to put it on the outside. If it just happened to be in right in the wrong spot, you might run into some troubles. But we also have down here, I've got the bolts in place. You can see those. So you have space to reach in there and tighten down the bolts. What I used in this case, just to make it easy, is a 1/2-inch driver to reach down in there, but if you don't have that, you could probably stick a wrench in there and still make it work out. This plug does come with a built-in GFCI, so that's very handy. That's good anytime you have an outlet that's in the range of anything water. You have from the center of the toilet maybe 5.5 inches of clearance in the opening hole, so if that water line is a little too far over, you might have to move it. You have the option to try to fit it into the hole in the back. If that doesn't work, you can do what we did and put it on the outside, but if it's right in between, just gonna have to make that work.
Here, plumber's opinion time.
So we plugged it in, we got it running. The first time we hit the full flush button, it gave us too much pressure and it did actually overflow. Let me go ahead and hit it again and see what it does. To give a quick overview of the entire process, the install was a little bit more complicated. Being a skirted toilet, it's harder to get the bolts lined up and get it set, but with the fact that this entire seat assembly comes off, they do give you full access to all the connections, so that does make up for it. We had some issues with the valve coming out of the wall. It did not really want to fit behind the toilet. We kind of had to jam it over to the side. If that valve just happens to not be coming out of the wall in the right place, you might run into some issues here. Now that we've got it hooked up and we've got it running, I will say it is really cool to have all of these different features. One thing we are noticing is it does seem to be flushing a little bit inconsistently. And when we first hooked it up, it was flushing so hard that it was spraying water out from the front of the toilet. What we did is we took that valve and we turned it off about maybe a quarter of the way, and that seemed to slow the pressure down a little bit. There is pressure settings on here, but from what we were reading from the manual, that seems to only be for the bidet. So from what we can see, we can't adjust the pressure of the flush. You have the full flush and the small flush. And like I said, it just seems to be a little inconsistent, and we're still trying to figure out how we can get it to not splash. So that would be my only issue, is practically, is like that's a little bit annoying, and we have to mess with that. But besides that, if you're a tech person, I mean, it is pretty cool. And for what I think we said was about $400 or $500, it's not a bad toilet.
So yeah, installation was not that hard. It was pretty easy. You just got to be careful of the hole in your floor versus where the valve is on the wall. You just got to make sure that valve isn't on the edge of the toilet. It needs to be in or out. So that's the main gist of that. As far as this toilet goes, overall, I've been very happy with it. It's really cool. My friends come over and I'm like, yeah, go check out the toilet. Go sit, and they're like, oh my God, it's so warm and it's really nice. And it's a cool toilet to have. For me down here, this is in the basement. And so the basement has a sewage ejector pump because it's on like ground level. So it has a sewage ejector pump, and I'm a wet wipes guy. I'm not a toilet paper guy. I'm a wet wipes guy because I feel like that gets you cleaner. And I think it does. And so the wet wipes down here are a problem in the sewage ejector pump, but upstairs I can use them as long as they're like the biodegradable. I'll just, it's just me here. So it's not like there's a lot of people using the toilets all the time. So wet wipes every once in a while is not going to hurt anything. It goes out into a septic system, and I get the septic system checked out like once a year. So it's not a huge deal, but this makes the downstairs toilet immensely better because there's no wet wipes needed. There's toilet paper I would need just because, like, whenever I'm drying with that, I feel like the drying takes a long time. Now, if you're sitting on the toilet scrolling Instagram Reels or something, why not just sit there and let it dry for a while? I did that the first time, and I just sat for like 3 minutes and just let it dry for like 3 minutes. And it was dry. But if you're in a hurry, it's nice to have some toilet paper around that you can dry off with. Tips on these toilets, I would say when I was shopping, some of the things I would see that I would like, I'm starting to notice is like some of them didn't have the little sensor down here that would like, raise that seat. Some of them didn't have the lighted back. Some of them didn't have certain little adjustments on them, but not a huge deal. So if you are on a budget crunch and you can only spend like $250, there are some out there that are $250. This one was like maybe $300-$400 or something like that. I forget exactly. But they're great toilets so far. I don't know if they're on the like commercial grade quality of like a Kohler toilet. I had an American Standard in here before, and the American Standard was great. Nothing wrong with that. But overall, I've been very happy with it. I kind of look forward to like the number 2 situation because like, I'm going to go downstairs and use the new toilet. It's kind of fun for like, and it's been in this, and you say this is the honeymoon phase, dude. You'll eventually get tired of it. It's been like 2 months, and I'm still excited every time. Anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, hit the thumbs up. You can subscribe. This channel is all about house stuff, so just cool stuff you can do to your house or with your house or around your house or whatever. And then any questions you have, throw in the comments down below. I'll get back to you. But that's it. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.